Hi, this is David with David's Tutorials. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to build a Contact Us page in WordPress using the Divi theme and the Divi Contact module. This is a very specific niche video for anybody who's building a website who wants to have a Contact Us page. Now, the reason to have a Contact Us page on your website is to give people who are browsing your website the opportunity to send you an email without giving up your email address to the world at large. Because as we all know, those slimeball spammers out there love to harvest email addresses off of the internet, and they put them on this great big database list and they sell that list to everybody in the world, and then the people who buy that list send out tons and tons and tons of spam emails. Therefore, it's a very good idea to put a contact form on your website that will allow people to fill in the fields that you want and will, when they click submit, send you that email to your email address without giving away your email address to the world. Let's get started. Here we are on a Contact Us page, and we have the Divi theme installed. So when you go to edit the page, you come to this page which says the layout is built with Divi, or else you will need to edit it with Divi. I think I've already built that one in Divi, but I haven't done anything with it yet. One of the first things you do when you edit the page is you want to come over here to the right side. Now I'm going to expand this a little bit so I can see it better. And we look over here on the right hand side. We see we're on a page. Basically, you want to just check all of these items here in the right hand side before you get off of this page. Once you are done with that, you can save it as a draft or you can update it. I'm going to update it because I've published it already. I just wanted to have the page there so we could put it on our menuing system. But first thing you want to do is just save it to a draft if you haven't published it yet. Let's get out of the blow up. Now we're going to go ahead and edit this with Divi. Whenever you click to edit with Divi for the very first time, you're going to be taken to the twiddle and then to this choice of build it from scratch, create it from a pre-made layout, which is either a layout that Divi furnishes or one that you have saved to your library, or you can clone an existing page. Right now, we're going to build this page from scratch. So I'm just going to click on this one and it takes us to the empty page. Now, in the Divi theme builder, I have built a header which consists of this banner and it consists of this menu, and I have built a footer which consists of this footer right here. When you come to a Divi page for the first time, it will give you a section and a row, and you will need to select how many columns you want in the row. Now, at the very top of this page, I want a banner that says this is the Contact Us page, so I'm going to go ahead and put in one column. And in this column, I'm going to put a text module, and there's the text module. And in this text module, I am only going to have it say, triple click, 1, 2, 3, it selects it all. I want it to be all caps, Contact Us. Now you have the opportunity here to do all kinds of formatting and styling. I prefer to do this styling on the text settings module. Notice right here it has Contact Us over on the left side, and it's inside the section, inside the module. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to design it right here. Now, one of the first things I want to do, that's just plain text. So we're going to take this text. I'm going to set it at a font that I like. For titles, I like Roboto, and you can either type that in up here, Roboto, and pick it, or if you've used it before, it'll show up at top. I'm going to change it to the Roboto font. I'm going to zoom in so I can see this a little bit better. There we go. That's a little bit too far. It says we have the Roboto font. The way I want this, since this is going to be a title, I want it to be bold. That made it bold. Now the color is going to be interesting. Since I want this to be a banner, I'm going to pick the color later because I'll show you why here in just a minute. I'll tell you what let's do. Let's make it a very light blue. We'll pick the blue there. We'll pick the blue there. And we'll come down and bring it down here. Notice over here on this side is changing color as I drag the slider. Okay, now the size, that's what I want to do. I want to change the size. I want it at least be 30. Okay, I want it to look about as big as the banner up there, and that's what it looks like. I don't want to put any shadow on that. I do want the alignment to be centered. Now, this is one of those things I could have done over in the content tab, but I like to do it here because I keep all of the edits in the same place. Now, I'm going to drag this off to the side, contact us. That's about all I think I want to do right now on the text. Now, on the spacing, I want all the margins and all the paddings to be 0. Now, if I go over this, you can see the box around Contact Us. Margins are outside the box, paddings are inside the box. So the margin, I want that to be 0. Left is 0. Hit the link, and that makes it to right. Excuse me, top and bottom. Left is 0. Link, bottom is 0. I'm going to make the padding that's inside the box. I want that 0 on the top and on the bottom. I want that 0 on the left and on the right. Now, the reason I want that to be 0 is because, yes, there will be spacing around it, but I don't want it to be on that text module. We also have a section and we have a row. And I'm going to put the spacing in the section. I think that's about all I want to do so far on this. So I'm going to go ahead and click the checkbox, and that saves it. Now, always when you make a change, one of your interim steps should always be click on the 3-dot purple button on the bottom, and it's going to be on one side or the other. Click on the save button. In other words, make a change, save your work. When I was running a computer division one time, I had somebody always ask me, how often should I save my work? And I would tell them, you should save your work whenever you've done so much that you can't stand to lose it. That's still the case today. How often should you save your work? Whenever you've done enough work that you can't stand to lose it. Now, in a Divi theme, when you're in the Divi editor, and you can tell when you're in the Divi Builder, Visual Builder, because it will say Exit Visual Builder when you're in it. It'll say Enter Visual Builder when you're not in it. Now, when you hover over things, they will give you outlines. The green is the row, the black or very dark gray is the module, and the blue is the section. I want to edit the section, so if I go over here to the left and click on the cogwheel, that will help me edit the section. Now, the main thing I want to do is change the background to this section, but I tell you what, before I get into that, let me go ahead and make another section, because there we go. I'm going to regular section. I'm not going to put anything in it yet. All right, we'll put one row in there. We won't put any modules at this point. One column. We can change the columns later in a row. But right now we want to change the section, and the section is blue. So I want to change the background on this section, and I want to make this background, you can do it a solid color, you can do a gradient, you can do an image, or you can do a video. I think I'd like to do a gradient. And I'm going to do the gradient right here, and I'm going to change the top of this gradient to the blue that I have established for this website, and I want the bottom of the gradient, I don't want that to be green. I'll click on the check mark here. Now we're going to get the bottom color. Just for grins, let's run it to purple. Do we want that purple? No, let's make it a different purple. Ah, that's a better purple right there. Now you see why I wanted the words of Contact Us to be a lighter blue color, because they will show up against the dark background. And if I had left them black, it would not show up as well. Click the check mark to keep that particular color. And that's really all I want for the section at this time. I'm going to go back to the module, which is dark gray, click on the cogwheel, click on design, click on text, go to the color, click on white. That's what I wanted for that. Now it looks a lot better. Now I'm going to be looking at margins and padding. Now the row, which is green, I want that to be 0 as well. I can either click on the cogwheel and set the margin and padding of that to 0, or I could just hover over it. And when I hover over the edge, notice there's a light green boundary that appears. And if I drag it, that changes the padding to 0. There's also going to be a top padding. There we go, top padding. Change that to 0. What I want now is to change the padding on the section. I'm going to move that up just a little bit, and I'm going to move this up just a little bit. Now that looks good. What we have here, let me zoom all the way out, is a full width gradient banner that tells us we are on the Contact Us page. And that's really all there is to it. What I want to put here is one row, one column, and in the top of the column, I'm going to put a text module, which basically tells us we would love to hear from you. And then below that, I'm going to put another module in the same column that is the Contact Us form. Okay, the first thing I'm going to put in here is a text module, T-E-X-T, and click on that one. I'm going to scroll down, triple click, and we would love to hear from you. Period. Please fill out the contact form below, and if your message asks for an answer, we will get back to you as soon as we can. Have a blessed day, period. Now, this is all basically just filler text in the realm of the best I can do for right now. I think I want to change that to black because I do like the higher contrast. Let's change that to black. Can't tell too much difference. I want to increase the size of it. And I'm going to increase the line height, which is the space between the lines. Boom. That's good enough. And the font, that looks pretty good. And I'm just going to click the checkbox. Now I'm going to change the padding of the section up top. I'm going to make that to 0 because I want that right up at the top. Blue is section. Green is row. There's row. I got a little closer to the top. And come on, row, a little closer. That's it. That's all we need to do. Now, for the module, I'm going to put a new module below this. Remember, modules are the only thing that can contain content. Everything else is structure. I don't want to duplicate this because I don't want another text. I want to click on the black plus sign and add a new module. And that new module, I'm going to type in CONT contact form. Click. And that adds the contact form. You can see here, there's the contact form down below. I'm going to leave this as just a very basic contact form. And over here, let me zoom in so I can see it better. We have the fields in the form, the name field, the email field, and the message field. Now, I really kind of like those fields as they are. I'm not going to need to add a new field right now because there's nothing there that I would really want to put in there. You can explore the fields by clicking on that button, but you can put in phone number fields, you can put in multi-line fields. There are many different fields you can put in there. I'm going to just leave those in there. Now let's edit each field. Well, I'm going to style those. Let's click on the cogwheel to style the name field. I'm going to show you something cool. Here's on the design tab. We're not going to mess with the layout. The field background color. I would like this to be a nice light blue. Let's click on that blue. Let's click over here to open up the box. Let's click on this to get it over here in the blue area. And let's drag it down to make it really, really light. We want it just enough to stand out from the background. Okay, check that one. Field text color, I want that to be a nice dark blue. Let's click on that one. Let's go ahead and drag it down to make it just a little bit darker. There we go. And that basically is our theme color. Field focus background color. You know what? Let's go ahead and change the focus background color from the light blue to an even lighter blue. I'm going to click on this light blue. I'm going to copy this hexadecimal value. I highlight it. I do Control C or Command C to copy it. I'm going to come down here to the field focus background color. I'm going to Control V or Command V, paste it. Now we have that blue already set in there. Notice it's on the blue and it's very light. I'm going to change the hue of that just a little bit by dragging this over to the right. Notice we've made it into a little bit of a purple. So whenever a field has the color, it'll be the same shade, but it'll be a different color when it's on a focus. Now the focus text color, I'm not going to change that. Field font is, we want that to be default. People may want to put something in there that is more condensed. So I'm going to give them the Oswald font in there. That's a little bit more condensed. Field font weight is regular. We want it aligned to the left. Text size is 14 pixels. I think I would like to make that at least one higher. 15, let's do 16 pixels. Field letter spacing, we don't want to worry about that. Line height, don't want to worry about that. We don't want any text shadow. And we do want a border. I want a very thin border. I don't want rounded corners. You can do a rounded corner here if you want to. I want the input border to be solid on all four sides. I want it only to be about a 1 pixel border, and I want it blue. Style, solid, yes. Box shadow. I kind of like box shadow, so I am going to give this my favorite box shadow, which is this one right here. I do believe that's all we want to do. Box shadow, I like it on the default, which is, as you can see, is a semi-transparent black. We don't want anything else, but now I'm going to show you something really cool. We click on that checkbox, and that checks this field for the name. But now watch something really cool. See the three dots off to the right here? So I'm going to click on this 3-button item here, and I click Copy Item Styles. Now I'm going to come here to the email, which you can see is right here, the email. I'm going to click on that one. Look at here, Paste Item Style, boom. I'm going to come to this one. I'm going to click on that one, Paste Item Style, boom. Now all I have to do is go back into the message and make it full width. I'm going to click on the cogwheel, design, layout. That's what we want. Make full width, yes. And that's really the only change I want to do to that one. All right. We now have the contact form settings done. Let me zoom out a little bit because there's a little bit more we've got to do here. And we see here we have our CAPTCHA setting and our submit button. Let's zoom on down and see what we can do with those. Zoom back in here. Notice how I made the zoom so we can see what we're doing as we do it. Let's scroll down here and take a look at success message. Okay. I'm going to put in here, thank you for your message. We have received it and are processing it now. I'll show you how that works in just a minute. Submit button. That is the text of submit, and you can change the text right there. Let me just show you what that is. Send. Notice I typed in send there, and over here it says send. So I'm going to leave that there. I wish they would give us an option to center this entire section here. Email. Now this is something very critical. I'm going to put in a bogus email here, and I'm going to put a real one in there. let's see, email address bob@bogus.net. It's just not proper for me to put on a video that's going to everybody somebody's real email address, so that's not a real one. Spam protection should be on right now. Yes, we're using the basic CAPTCHA, which is a computer-aided something to Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. That's what that stands for. I bet you didn't know that. Now, every module in Divi, you can put a link on. I don't want anybody to link there from this particular form. Background, I could put a background here, admin label. It already says contact form, and there's not going to be more than one of them on a page. So I'm going to click on the checkbox. I'm going to zoom back out, and this is what our Contact Us page looks like. Somebody fill in their name, they fill in their email address, they fill in their message, they do the CAPTCHA, and they click the submit button, and then the message will be sent. I'm going to first save that. Let's go back and see if we can style this submit button. We're going to click on the cogwheel for the module. Let's zoom back in. Let's go to design. There we go. Field, text, title text, button. There's the button. Okay, we are now styling the button. Use custom button style. Right, defaults to no, which gives you a transparent background and a light color. I'm going to do yes. The button size, the size is okay. I want to make the corners rounded. I want to make it a button text color. I want that to be white, which means you're not going to see it right now. I want the background to be a solid color. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to make it the regular blue. I like that a lot better. Let's go to the button border width. I'm going to make that a little bit round. Let's make that about a 7-point border. And so we can see it, I'm going to turn it yellow. No, I'm going to turn it red, but after we get it rounded off. Button border radius, that's what I wanted. Button border radius. Now, if you want it perfectly rounded borders, you should set that at 15%. Let's make it about 20 pixels. That looks good to me. And now we don't have the border color that we were really after. Tell you what, let's make it a really light blue like we had before. Click. Ooh, you know what I could do? I bet I still have on my clipboard that light blue value. Boom, boom. There we go. We have a light blue radius on that send button. Button margin, which is inside the box. Button padding, which is outside the box. Ooh, I put a box shadow on the field. Let's put a box shadow on the button as well. I like that. This is for the rest of the contact form settings. Let's check that to save it. Let's go over here and save that. And I'll tell you what, let's do. Okay, now that I've done all the changes I want to do, I'm going to save it. You know, sometimes I have saved it and tried to exit and it says, you have unsaved changes. So I sometimes just save it twice. And I wait for the twiddle to go by and we have the check mark and I come back up to the top and I exit the visual builder. I'll zoom out. And what we have here is a Contact Us form that we can scroll down on and we see that's really all there is to it. I'm going to fill this out. And notice how it changed the color because that tells me the field is highlighted. David, email address. You didn't think I was really going to let you see that email address, did you? If you want to send me an email, go to davidstutorials.com, click on the Contact Us button, and you can send me an email from right there. This is the first email from the Contact Us form on your website. Please let me know when you receive this. And I'm going to look at the CAPTCHA, which is 4 plus 4 equals, I'm going to have to type in, gee, what could that be? 8. Yeah. Then I'm going to click on send. Boom. And notice what it did. It says, thank you for your message. We have received it and are processing it now. One thing I don't like is the fact that the contact us form scrolled up from the bottom and left a white space at the bottom, but that's all there is to it. But if I click on the contact us form here in the menu, it takes us back to that menu again. Anyway, so there you have it, a very basic contact us form put on a website using WordPress and the Divi theme. If you have any other questions, comments, suggestions, put them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and then the bell icon so that YouTube will notify you whenever we post another new video right here on David's Tutorials. And of course, don't forget to click that thumbs up button, and that will let YouTube know that you thought this was a helpful video, and they will recommend it to other people. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.